King was kind of sniffing. He's going, and he's going, "What's that smell?" And then Camilla said, "I think it's Grant." They both looked at me, and he was like, "Oh, what's happened to you?" Because obviously I've gone, and I said, "Oh, I've had a spray tan." He said, "Oh gosh," he says it's obviously not gone too well. And I said, "Oh no," so I said, I think I went for the wrong colour, and I'm afraid the smell is the spray tan. And he was like, "Oh, how awful for you, how awful." And anyway, so I go back through, and about 5 minutes later, the other butler comes and says, "Oh, he's giving you the rest of the night off because the smell is a bit strong." I was like, "Okay," I said, "Fine, I understand." And then he goes through and he comes back again a couple minutes later and he said, "Actually, he's given you a couple of days off for the smell to go." That's how bad it was. And luckily he saw the funny side of it. It was great. I got a couple of nights off out of it.
Yeah.
But I can confirm I never went for another spray tan after that.
Yeah.
Never again.
Well, doesn't Prince William have an exchange with you in the kitchen when he witnesses
He
said spray
does.
tan?
Yes, yes, he does. Because he came back also not long after and he'd heard the story about his father and everything. So he came in and he saw me and he was like, "Oh, I hear you've had a spray tan." And he said, and he looks at me, he says, "Is it everywhere?" And I said, "Yes." He went, "Everywhere?" I went, "Yes." He was like, "Really everywhere?" And I'm like, "Yes." And he said, "Can I see?" And I said, "See what?" He said, "Can I see your toes?" So I had to take my shoes and socks off so you could see my toes, which were bright orange. So it was so
That
bad. And
is
he couldn't stop laughing.